Hello folks, hope you're having a wonderful middle of your week. It is going by like the clappers, isn't it? It's absolutely running by this week. We are getting some lovely weather outside and it's making me feel a lot better about things, so here we are. Hope you're having a good day. If you like what I do, the subscribe button is down below, the Patreon button is also down below. If you want to be involved in the prize draw, that is on the 3rd of September, that is for £100 worth of free models from Composite Games, and a repulsor tank, a Space Marine repulsor tank. Let me know, that will be in the comment section down below. That is Patreon you need to be on. Any level on there, you're giving to the channel, you're helping the channel out, we love you for that, and we will give you a reward by having you in that prize draw. If you're a member of the channel as well, you're also helping the channel financially, and you will also be involved in the prize draw. And you will be involved twice. That's 2 chances of winning if you're involved on both. There you go. If you're going to want to support the channel as well, and you're getting some hobby stuff over the next few weeks and you can't wait for the prize draw, then head on over to Composite Games and use the promo code Northern Exile down below to get yourself 5% off at checkout. Can't say fairer than that. Now, we have 2 hobby nightmares today. One a bit more humorous than the other, and one very, very serious one. As I now have time to curate these, now that in the summer, a bit of work, tends to wane, and I can spend a bit of time in the morning actually reading over hobby nightmares from cover to cover, which is quite nice. So, Trejo says, not Danny Trejo, at least I think it's not Danny Trejo. I really want to read this in Danny Trejo's voice. Like, hey boss, that kind of a thing, but I'm not going to. A load of you are just sitting there going, aww. Anyway, Trejo says, hey North, please call me Trejo. I have a small but hopefully funny hobby nightmare for you. A friend of mine recently had his 40th birthday, and I needed a gift for him. This guy has no idea about 40k, or miniature painting, or anything that has to do with the hobby. He has seen my miniatures, and always liked them, so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to paint something up for him. He drove a beautiful candy apple red, highly customised Harley Davidson Sportster, so my idea was to 3D print a Space Marine on a chopper and try to match this colour. So I struggled a bit, but in the end, it doesn't look so bad. Picture attached. Alrighty. Bang. Oh yeah, that does look good. Looks pretty sweet. What's the emblem on the shoulder guard there, on the pauldron? I like that bike. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. However, I told this to another friend of mine, and he tells me, yeah, it looks like he sold his bike and bought another one in plain white. I wish he could have seen the look on my face. I couldn't change the colour now because I was running out of time. I'm told he can think of it as a memory to his old bike, and he really liked it. Thank you for everything you do for the hobby, and have a good one. Well, mate, the thought is all there. If somebody gave me this, you'd be a curse to me, because if you gave me this as a birthday present, I'd be like, oh, I need more bikes like that. I thought of a really cool arming idea. Like, it goes onto my video from yesterday. Honestly, man, that's ridiculous. And you got the road there as well. That's super cool, dude. So much effort has gone into that. If somebody gives you a gift like this, that they made themselves and they painted themselves, that's worth more to me than you buying me like a PS5 or something. Do you know what I mean? Because you haven't just spent some money. You've absolutely poured yourself into a project that's taking your time to do. That you're an incredible friend, man. This is really cool. What a nice thing to do for somebody. That's great, man. Some Null Oil wouldn't go amiss on his chest and other places, but aside from that, mate, good job. Excellent stuff. Pity you chose Ultramarines as well. But moving on. Burrington says, and as you all know, I'm trying to shorten down the hobby nightmares a little bit, right? Because we were getting to the stage where we're going for 2 hours, and I don't want to do that. Essentially, I want every single video we do to be about 20 to 30 minutes long. Nice average length. Everyone's used to it. Everyone doesn't have to plan their whole week around it, that kind of a thing. Anyway, Burrington says, "Hey North, so this is a bit of a head scratcher, as I'm honestly not sure what goes through some people's heads when it comes to their behaviour. A bit of backstory to me, and to this hobby nightmare. My name is David. Yeah, a Dave. And I've been collecting Warhammer 40,000 in its many forms for about 20 years. My main army is Imperial Fists, as you said the other day. I get to do many armies as part of the Last War protocol instead of doing just one. Yeah, that is the biggest, absolute biggest advantage to doing Imperial Fists. Is you can do 20 armies if you want. Because most of the Imperial Fist successor chapters are really fleshed out. More than any other chapter, I think. The Imperial Fist have successor chapters that are really fleshed out more than anybody else. Which is kind of a thing. It goes into the meta quite beautifully, right? The Ultramarines are like so many of them. There's so many of them that they're all unknowable. People don't even know most of the Ultramarine successor chapters, whereas the Imperial Fists were just big enough to be split apart into really famous chapters, which is why Rogal Dawn didn't want to split them, right? Because he had the most to lose out of the splitting of the chapters after the Horus Heresy. So cool, like it. So moving onwards here, I used to attend my local game store with a friend of mine, Alex. A decent chap. He would always play good games in the store, would throw himself into store events, and was always supportive of me, wanting to try different things like Kill Team and all that. He'd get involved in the leagues, and all the things, even if he didn't want to do it himself, he would always be there for me to back me up. Alright, he had several different armies, and we'd go for drinks and all sorts. He was always quite well off. Nice car, nice house, lovely girlfriends that he'd take to different countries. He was quite the high roller. When I asked him what he did, shortly after meeting him, about 7 years ago, he told me he did corporate investments. Fair dues. Okay, cool. Cool. Our store manager is called Will, and is another decent chap. He literally cannot do enough for you on most days. The events he runs are top notch, and despite Games Workshop drip feeding him the new releases, he tries to make sure he can source more. 10th edition was no different. I get that a lot of people in the UK had stock, and that's fine. Will didn't. He begged and pleaded, asked and cajoled. All in all, he had 23 copies to sell on release day, and they were gone in the blink of an eye. There was a general drought in our area of Leviathan box sets, which is weird. Whereas just in the next county, they had Leviathan box sets aplenty. This release was so weird. Anyway, Will would work overtime and stay behind making calls on our behalf to try and get us Leviathan boxes. Even if he made no money, he tried to source them so we could buy them from other retailers and stores. The guy was that much of a champ. Dude, that's a really cool manager. That is a really cool manager. But also, it highlights the entitlement that we were seeing in our comment section a little while ago when I did a video expressing my frustration that not everybody in the hobby was getting their hands on the Leviathan box set, right? Not everybody was getting a copy because it was limited, and some people don't want the starter box set. There are people who have been in the hobby for like a year maybe, and they want the brand new models all in one place. They want to spend that money on those models, but if they're living in a certain area, they can't get them. Because those stores had limited copies available, and Games Workshop were only making a limited number of Leviathan box sets. Which means, hey-ho, scalpers arise! And, you know, it's one of those things. Now, scalping did take a big hit with 10th edition, but I still say, to this day, Games Workshop, essentially, they gave us a 4 out of 10 launch, in terms of score. A 4 out of 10. Now, compared to their last release, the 9th edition, which was a 1 out of 10, it may seem rather favourable, but 4 out of 10 for most companies is still a very, very bad launch. Because if everybody's not getting if everybody who wants one isn't getting a hold of your main box set, your launch failed. Just is what it is. Case in point, this story, right? That was my point in that video. There were people going, well, I got one, so it's not a problem. Mate, no. Well, my store's got loads. Good for you, mate. Good for you. Would you like a medal? Would you like a medal? Here you go. I don't know what you want from me. Not every store had a good amount of copies to sell. But then you had other stores which were drowning in them and couldn't get rid of them fast enough. That is really poor administration and really poor planning on Games Workshop's part on getting this stock to the people who need it the most. Shocking, right? 4 out of 10 release at best. Moving on. One day we head into the store and Will is beaming. Big smile on his face. Behind his till are 30 boxes of Leviathan, ready to go. It turns out another store agreed to just give him the stock in return for store credit. They had that many just laying around. Yeah, case in point, right? So he had about £3.5 thousand worth of stock here, guaranteed to be sold for £1,000 worth of store credit. Deal of the century. He had to wait for the giving store to cross them off of their stock lists over the weekend to actually sell them on the Monday, but he was absolutely chuffed to have pulled this one out the bag. We headed home that evening, happy in the knowledge that Will had pulled off the impossible, it seemed. Awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. The next morning, Alex texted me and said he had the runs, so wouldn't be making it to the afternoon gaming sesh at the store, which I was fine with, so I headed down to the store on my own. No problem there. I saw the blue flashing lights long before I got there. The police were there, walking around and cleaning up glass. Someone had smashed the back windows of the store, headed in and stolen a load of stock. Will looked shell-shocked. He apologised to me and said the store was closed until Monday at least. I looked behind the cash register. No Leviathan boxes. Will was absolutely gutted. They had literally just come in, stolen a few carry cases that are very expensive, and the Leviathan boxes. That's it. Police treat in this country, as you may think, robberies of toy soldiers as kind of a low priority. And so said they'd look at the CCTV and see if they could find anything. I will spoil this now. They found nothing. The vehicle used by the guys was never found. They likely changed the license plate. They all wore black leather gloves and complete black overalls and balaclavas. No chance of identifying them, and anything they did leave, DNA, I'm not sure, didn't show up in any of their databases. The insurance paid out half the cost of the stock, and Will had to just open up the next week after his window was fixed over the weekend by a Good Samaritan window installer, who agreed to help after I made a few phone calls. But Will was kind of a crushed man, not going to lie. Dude, that app... Oh, no. No. So when I said I read most of these, I'd read up to this point, because I didn't want to spoil it to myself. You know, as soon as I know it's about the hobby, then I carry on. This is gutting, man. This is gutting. It's even worse when it happens to, like, a good guy. Like, a good guy who's just trying to help out. He's just trying to help out his mates. He's just trying to help out his customers and get them some stock of a thing that Games Workshop have kept from him for no reason. And somehow, by hook or by crook, he's found you Leviathan box sets to sell. And some douchebag takes it upon themselves to whisk away into the night with but you know they knew what they were looking for. They knew what they were looking for. So this is somebody who's been in that store, I'm telling you now. Anyway, let's skip a few days later, shall we? I am farming around online, and suddenly I start seeing Leviathan box sets appear for collection only on eBay. Weird. There have been none for a long time, at least in my local area. Wanting to get one, and out of morbid curiosity, I order one. I am given an address and told to pick it up that day if I like. It's not a local address that I know. In fact, it's a lockup. Weird. I head over there, and I knock on the garage door of the lockup. It opens. Surprise, or not, Alex is standing there. And he goes white as a sheet. Oh, shit. And he called in sick on the day as well. He knew they'd been robbed. Oh, my God. Jesus. The plot thickens. Okay. You're the buyer, he asks. Yeah. Couldn't you see on the order? I tell him. No, I don't really deal with that. I just have a box. A mate handles the rest. This is our this is our PO box address. You see, for our business. Right. Yeah, this dude's sus as fuck, dude. This dude's completely sus. So no, I don't really deal with that. I just have the box. A mate handles the rest. This is our PO box address. Yeah. All right. Right. The only people I know who need a PO box address are people who want to interact with their audience on YouTube, but don't quite feel like they want to give their home address away. Those are the people who have a PO box, right? Fuck, you know. Shady. Shady. Right, I say. So, we make small talk, and I ask him if he's feeling better, and he says he is. Fair enough. I take my Leviathan box set and head out the door, feeling really weird. Something ain't right. Yeah, you're not yeah, no shit, man. I head straight to Will and ask him to run the serial number on the box to see if it fits his stock lists. It does. It's stolen. Yeah, I could have told you that myself, man. He asks where I got it from, and I told him I got it from a random buy on eBay. I am in a real bind here. I have to give Will the info or I'm an accomplice to a crime. So, I do so with a heavy heart, even though I want the story from Alex and he will know I bubbled him. I leave the box with Will without reimbursement and head home. Well. I get a text from Alex asking if he can come around. I told him sure. Dude, I would have a bat nearby or an armed loaded weapon nearby if this is me. If this guy wants to come round to my house, after he knows, let's be honest, he knows I'm the one who told people on him, you know, I would have a bat nearby or a knife or something. Like, this is shady. This is absolutely shady. It's like a fucking episode of Breaking Bad or something. Anyway, he heads over and is again white. He comes clean. He is a reseller and not into investments as he told me. Well, he does do investments, it's just in stock before moving on to other people. He never asks where he gets the stock from, he just is the middleman for a lot of other businesses and other interests. He makes a lot from it, but asks that I keep his part in this a secret. He's left the Leviathan box at the address and won't be selling them. I tell him, but you were going to sell them, dude. I fucking bought one. And I bet you knew where they came from. He shakes his head. No, mate. The guys put the ad up on eBay. I was just there to hand over the stock. Dude, nah, man. Nah. Nah, this doesn't sit right with me. This ain't right, this. Yeah, alright, dude, I said. I didn't believe him. Yeah, good for you. I told him as much, and told him that he was not welcome at the store or around me unless he presented proof that he was not involved in this shit show, or as involved as he seemed to be. I wouldn't turn him into the police, but that's as far as I'd go. Well, mate, yeah, I wouldn't turn him in either if I knew him and he was a good friend. And if we got the stock back, that's fine. But, dude, my God. Do you know what he's done? I bet he knows some pretty shady characters in his job. He's mentioned that Leviathan box sets are quite rare in the local area, and that he's seen them at his local store to the wrong person. Or the right person, depending on what he wanted to happen here, right? That wrong person has then gone and stolen them from the store, given them to him and said, sell these, and make some money. I'm telling you now. And even then, you won't be making a lot of money. You're making, like, you know, retail, essentially. because the scalper prices weren't that good, you know, for this release. Anyway, here's the thing. I never saw Alex again, or at least I have not for several months. He has blocked my number, disappeared from the face of the earth on Facebook and WhatsApp and Twitter and everything. He's just ghosted pretty much everybody. So this is my biggest hobby nightmare. Introducing a snake into the garden, a wolf into the hen house, so to speak. All names are changed, but this early summer has been one of the most stressful hobby times of my life. Will is doing well now. Everybody rallied around after the robbery, and his store is going from strength to strength. That's good to hear. It just shakes your faith in humanity a lot. Best, Dave. Yeah, man. Like, this sucks so much, man. At least he got back his stock. That's or did he? You didn't actually say. The guy said he wasn't selling it and that he was leaving it at the address at the lockup, right? But did he get him back? Email me. Tell me if he got him back or not. But this sucks so much. Oh my days. Absolutely not, man. Like this guy. This seems too shady to me. I'm from Liverpool. I know people who rob, right? You know, not on the rob, but you know what I mean. Like I know some shady people, right? I've worked as a barman in Liverpool before. I've spoken to some shady motherfuckers, right? Some shady ass motherfuckers. Like it happened all the time. I'd be running a bar, and somebody would come and go, and does anyone want to buy any wine? They've nicked it from the off license, and they've come in to sell it in a bar. And you literally have to tell them to just fuck off and get out. And some of them will give you lip. And it's like, how fucking dare you? This is a bar. Don't come and try and sell your stolen booze in a bar. The cheek of these people, right? Some people don't have morals, dude. Or they're so clouded by drugs that the morals just disappear. I'm willing to bet that this Alex guy was a lot more involved than he tried to let on here. I'm telling you now. He's in my mind, he's told people to go and get those boxes so he can sell them. You know? He's gone and told these people to go and get those boxes so we can sell them. Definitely. And to be fair, he's a moron, because 9th edition was the time you wanted to do this, not 10th. 9th edition, those Indomitus boxes were like gold dust, man. Absolute gold dust. They were going for a fucking bomb on eBay. Right? That's the time you wanted to do this. 10th edition, yeah, you could sell them at just above retail price on eBay and make yourself a few quid. Fine, you know. But fucking hell. To break into somebody's place of business, a guy who you know is a decent bloke, and who has tried his damnedest to get to source these boxes that everybody else seems to have, you know. But there's one or two in every single area. There's one or two stores that are just left to rot by Games Workshop, and they don't have the stock. This guy's moved by hook or by crook and has gotten you some stock to sell, and has gotten you some stock to buy. And this guy takes advantage of that. This is the worst of humanity. You're taking the nice people. This is why, listen, bit of a rant, but in Liverpool, people don't really trust the police. Right? The main reason for that is, and you can ask anybody who lives in Liverpool, the main reason for that is they only tend to pick on good people. Because you're an easy target, right? If you're out and about and you're being loud and bolshy because you're a bit drunk, they will come down on you like a ton of bricks. But a guy stealing from a place of business, right? The real bad people out there, they get away. They get, you know, because they're difficult to catch. They know what they're doing. But normal people aren't criminals, right? They would rather capitalise on a good person making a single mistake than go and chase down an actual criminal. That's just my opinion. But I've worked in the city for a long time, in hospitality. I've seen fights, I've seen stabbings, I've seen all sorts of things go on, and the police never fucking show until hours after it's finished. Because they don't want the trouble. It might be different now, but 10, 15 years ago, that's exactly how it was. They would know the trouble spots in town. They would know the trouble bars. And they would be like, yeah, stay away from there until it's clearing out time and all the drunks have gone home. Then they would come in and go, oh, well, we'll take a statement and then we'll leave. You know, they're useless. Beyond useless. I don't know what they're like now, but this is why, you know, crooks get away with it. This what pisses me off. And they take advantage of good people. That's what crooks do. They take advantage of good people. And you know this Alex dude saw a good mark here. And he knew the police were not going to follow up at anything to do with fucking toy soldiers. Just riles my gears, man. Good people getting taken advantage of. It really put a bee in my bonnet. Go fuck yourself. And if you're this Alex guy, I know what you did. You little cunt. Get yourself in the sea. Alright? Get yourself in the sea. And fucking stay there. Love all of you long time. I very rarely use the see you next Tuesday mode, but here we are. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're ranting about. I think I've got a few ideas to go on about, but I don't really like to do rants that I just, think up. I like to do rants where I actually feel them. So if I don't find one tomorrow, I might do another video or a hobby talk or something. We will see. I love you all long time. I'll speak to you later. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.